Hey guys, so Rocky Top here, and we're going to be talking about the Miami Hurricanes. University of Miami football, I would have to say, contends with Tennessee on traditions. They had quite a raucous team back in the 80s with an attitude, courtesy of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, but couldn't quite get past Tennessee in the Sugar Bowl, though, could we? Anyways, this is for one of my good buddies. I know he's a big fan of the Miami Hurricanes, and that's Captain Scratch. So, a lot of new faces on the team. Great talent, but with the new faces, there's a lot of questions and concerns, which we'll get into. But anyways, here we go. Not bad last year, a few sneak by wins, but other than that, it's still a pretty solid finish, 10-2 in the regular season. However, that bowl game, it was against Iowa State, and just lost by one measly point. Sorry, the whole thing didn't come in. The defense side is only showing bits and pieces, but as you can see, there's a lot of orange there, which is incoming transfers. Good talent, but will they mesh together good as a team? Also, if you'll notice, there's not that many youngsters. There's only 2 true freshmen on the squad and a few sophomores. So at quarterback, you have Carson Beck. He was originally from Georgia. Last year, he completed 64%, 3,485 yards, 28 touchdowns, but he had 12 interceptions. He rushed 55 times for 71 yards and only 1 touchdown. Along with him, as an addition to this Miami squad, you also have some really decent receivers coming in. Tony Johnson, he was at Cincinnati, 48 receiving yards, 449 yards, 6 touchdowns. That is why I think he is a new addition to keep an eye out on for Carson Beck. Also, there's another receiver coming in that is just as good. Played for, like I said, Tony Johnson played for Cincinnati, also for Florida Atlantic. And then we have C.J. Daniels. He was from LSU and then went to Liberty in the last 2 years. He had a total of 97 receptions for a total of 1,547 yards. The only thing that is a little bit of a question is that he didn't turn any of that into touchdowns. So there is definitely some questions on that aspect. But the offensive line for these three is very experienced, have been there for a while. Defensively, there is one particular player that I'm looking at, which is Muhammad Tour. He played last year at Rutgers, 42 tackles, 51 assists, 9.5 tackles for losses, and 4.5 sacks. Absolutely outstanding. 1 forced fumble and 1 interception. The kicker just as phenomenal last 2 years at Texas. He had a field goal percentage of 73.5, and his extra point was 120 of 120. So 100%, you can't beat that. So looking at the schedule, there isn't really anything that daunting. Of course, Notre Dame, that's probably your toughest one on the schedule. Florida and Florida State are both on the uphill swing. Louisville, you can't ever fully rule them out. And then also it just depends on whether this team meshes together as to whether they can actually throw this in as a competitive schedule to get to the college football playoff. Now, I do think there is the potential. There is quite a bit of potential. But will they fully make it? Or will there be some mental errors because of the miscommunications that will prolong the rebuild for the Miami Hurricanes? Also, another thing that you got to consider is injury bug. If one of the top talents goes down, is there anybody to replace that talent? So, as I've already highlighted here, Notre Dame, Florida, Florida State. The question mark is Louisville. I honestly feel like this may be the trap game. October the 17th. It's on a Friday. Just after the bye week, could potentially catch Miami napping that week. So that's why I say the best is Tennessee. But that's why I said that there's a lot of questions, and we'll have to see how the future will be for this Miami squad. Until the next review, peace.